Rapper Kodak Black was arrested in Florida for cocaine possession and evidence tampering. Kodak Black was arrested in Plantation, Florida on December 7, 2023 for cocaine possession and tampering with evidence. After his truck was obstructing a lane, a police officer approached him. Black was detected with 4.1 grams of cocaine after attempting to eat the narcotics to avoid detection by the police. Kodak Black is back in jail after being arrested in Florida on cocaine possession allegations. According to police documents, the rapper, born Bill Kapri, 26, was lodged in a county jail on Thursday in Plantation, Florida, on accusations that included tampering with or falsifying physical evidence, unlawfully halting or parking a vehicle, and violating parole. A Plantation Police Department officer detained the super gremlin rapper on Thursday after witnessing a black Bentley SUV blocking the traffic. According to a Plantation Police Department complaint affidavit, the officer alleges he noticed Black asleep in the driver's seat and smelled a strong stench of cooked cannabis coming from the vehicle. Kodak Black is back in jail after being arrested in Florida on cocaine possession allegations. According to the arrest record, officers discovered cannabis wrapping paper and residue, a styrofoam cup that smelled of alcohol, and later, a white powder falling from Black. A clear plastic bag purportedly containing a white chunky material was also discovered in Black's pocket, and the officer claims Black's lips was full of white powder in an attempt to conceal evidence. The police field testing indicate that the material was cocaine. Kapri, 26, was allegedly discovered by a Broward County officer early Thursday morning, parked in a roadway, obstructing the passage. When the police approached the vehicle, he discovered Kapri dozing inside. According to the court document, the officer smelled a strong odor of burnt cannabis in the car and discovered a styrofoam cup in the door handle that smelled like alcohol, as well as cannabis wrapping paper and probable cannabis residue. When the officer reviewed Kapri's driver's license and car registration, he allegedly noticed white powder falling from his person. When the officer got out of his cruiser, he spotted Kapri's mouth full of white powder, which led him to believe the rapper was trying to discard illegal narcotics. According to court filings, after handcuffing Kapri, the officer noticed white rock-like substances on the ground that the rapper told him were Percocet. According to court documents, the white material was positively confirmed as cocaine on the scene and weighed 4.1 grams. Kapri was detained and eventually released on $5,000 bond later that day. Donald Trump's pardon of Kodak Black reflects one of multiple court battles. The Florida-born rapper was apprehended in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, in July 2022, when the Florida Highway Patrol pulled him over for driving an SUV with window tinting darker than the legal limit. According to the Florida Highway Patrol, they noticed a marijuana odor and searched the SUV, discovering a small clear bag with 31 white tablets and about $75,000 in cash. The tablets were eventually determined to be oxycodone. According to the department, record checks indicated that Black's vehicle tag and driver's license were both expired. In 2002, Black was arrested on trespassing charges in South Florida. Prosecutors later decided not to pursue the matter. After pleading guilty to firearms charges coming from his detention immediately before a scheduled concert performance, the Tunnel Vision rapper was sentenced to 46 months in federal prison in 2019. Outgoing President Donald Trump commuted Black's prison sentence in January 2020. He was arrested in Pompano Beach in October 2015 and charged with robbery, violence, false imprisonment of a kid, and possession of cannabis. He was eventually liberated. In April 2016, Kodak Black was arrested in Hallandale Beach, Florida, and charged with felony possession of a handgun, marijuana possession, and flight from cops. He was arrested in May 2016 in Broward County, Florida, and charged with armed robbery and false imprisonment. He was taken into detention. In January 2018, Kodak Black was arrested inside his Pembroke Pines, Florida home on various counts coming from an Instagram live feed video in which he was seen spreading marijuana and a gun around a small child. He was initially charged with 7 felonies, including child negligence, grand theft of a handgun, firearm possession by a convicted felon, and marijuana possession. 3 counts against Kodak Black were dropped on February 22, 2018, and he pled not guilty to the remaining 2. On April 17, he pled not guilty to the remaining charges of handgun possession by a convicted felon and marijuana possession, and was sentenced to 364 days in prison with credit for time served. On August 18, 2018, he was granted his freedom. Kodak Black pleaded guilty to a guns possession case on March 11, 2020, after being stopped at the Canadian-American border with a Glock. With a March 24 sentencing date set, the court evaluated sentences ranging from 2 to 7 years in jail, which would run concurrently with his 46-month sentence for lying on federal paperwork. Kodak Black was serving his federal term at the United States Penitentiary, Big Sandy, a high-security prison in Inez, Kentucky, in June 2020. Kodak Black was moved to the United States Penitentiary, Thompson, in October 2020. President Donald Trump commuted Kodak Black's sentence for his 2020 conviction on January 19, 2021. In Florence, South Carolina, Kodak Black was still facing criminal sexual assault accusations, which prosecutors were planning to aggressively prosecute. On April 28, 2021, Kodak accepted a plea deal in the alleged sexual assault case, pleading guilty to a lesser charge of first-degree assault and battery and receiving an 18-month probation sentence. In mid-2021, Kodak failed a drug test, which was a violation of his supervised release restrictions. A judge then sentenced him to spend 90 days in a rehabilitation institution. He finished the 90-day challenge in December of that year. He was arrested for trespassing at Pompano Beach, Florida, on January 1, 2022. On July 15, 2022, the Florida Highway Patrol stopped Kodak Black's automobile because the window tint appeared darker than the permissible limit. Police smelled marijuana and searched the vehicle, discovering a bag containing 31 oxycodone tablets and over $75,000 in cash. Kodak Black was charged with oxycodone trafficking and possession of a controlled narcotic. His driver's license and vehicle registration were both out of date. Kodak was placed under house arrest on July 20, 2022, when his arrest was deemed a violation of his supervised release. If you're as fascinated by these stories as we are, don't miss the next series. Subscribe to our channel and turn on all notifications, because in the world of trials and prison time, every update holds the key to unknown stories and unexpected turns. Join us as we unravel the criminal parts of hip-hop icons on this interesting journey. Become a member of the privileged circle that receives the inside news. Until then, thank you for joining us on Bars Behind Bars, and stay curious.